Republican lawmakers are split when it comes to Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and his decision to remain loyal to Donald Trump regardless of what Trump does. In fact, the dispute comes after McCarthy has decided to support the primary election. The primary candidate that's backed by Donald Trump. Her name is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she is a QAnon conspiracy theorist. So Trump backs her. And of course, McCarthy decides to back her. And some Republicans are like, I don't know, is this a good idea? This might actually hurt us, and we don't want to get hurt by this. So, according to the Washington Post, a cluster of GOP lawmakers is starting to privately, God, they're so lame. They're so weak and pathetic. They're such losers. I mean, come on. A cluster of GOP lawmakers is starting to privately question whether Kevin McCarthy is putting loyalty to the president over the good of the conference. And a small group of members is discussing whether someone should challenge him for minority leader if Trump is defeated November 3rd. Look, I call them cowards because they're like, oh, we're so scared. Let's talk about it privately. Let's make sure we use burner phones. In fact, let's not have any like recording devices inside. We don't want Trump or McCarthy to, like, you're pathetic. You guys are weak. You're losers. Anyway, let me give you more. I'm sorry, I guess I'm channeling my inner jank today. According to interviews with more than 10 House Republicans, all of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity to be frank, because they're losers. Some GOP lawmakers are worried that McCarthy has tied the conference too much to Trump, refusing to stand up to the president or act as a buffer to distinguish the conference from him. And so, like, there's a comparison between McCarthy and Lindsey Graham, right? Because Lindsey Graham seemed to have like some principles, some ideology before Trump won. And then as soon as Trump won, he couldn't stop licking Trump's boots. But one House Republican said the following of McCarthy: he changed and became fully committed to the Trump train. Kevin has never been a conservative guy. He's one of the most moderate guys in the House if you look at his voting record. But all of a sudden, there was a metamorphosis where it was everything Trump. And look, there's high risk, high reward with that. So the high risk that they're talking about is, there are some vulnerable Republican candidates, and they're worried that McCarthy's behavior really does jeopardize those particular congressional races.
Yeah, let me explain how this works. So McCarthy doesn't want to stick his neck out and be against Trump because of Trump's wrath and Trump's voters' wrath, which is the great majority of the Republican Party. So he's too scared to challenge Trump, even though he knows it's going to cost them more seats. They got annihilated in 2018, the Republicans in the House. That was them. They're the ones who lost their seats. And it looks like they might lose again, which is hard to do because they got nearly wiped out in 2018. How could you lose even more seats in 2020? But that's what it looks like right now. But McCarthy's looking out for his own ass. So he's like, I'm not gonna be the one that goes out publicly and defies Trump. Then my head's on the chopping block. Now, here's the funny part, as Anna pointed out, the people who are mad about that, they're like, whisper, whisper, whisper. Can you believe McCarthy's not opposing Trump publicly? Okay, why don't you oppose him publicly? Oh, no, I want to remain anonymous. I oppose Trump publicly. Well, then what are you complaining about? You're doing the same exact thing as McCarthy's doing. No, I want him to stick his neck out, not me, to defend me.
Yes.
Or hear me out, you could grow a sack and defend yourself.
Yes.
Okay, and so if you're not gonna do that, well, then I guess that's a sad day for you, peas in a pod, okay? So go ahead, you both cower under Trump's shadow and lose under Trump's shadow, and I'll be ecstatic about it. Last part of it is when there's a couple people saying like, oh, if we don't regain the House, I guess Kevin McCarthy's gotta go and there's gotta be a new leader. Guaranteed, those are the people who are angling for his job, who are now busy licking Trump's left boot as opposed to his right boot where McCarthy's hard at work. And so those same guys will turn around and go, can you believe McCarthy didn't oppose Trump? Where are you? I literally don't see a single Republican in the House opposing Trump, not one. So who the hell are these anonymous guys pretending to be tough guys saying McCarthy's not doing enough to oppose him? Oh, you guys are so craven, so sad. #baby.
Oh, so good. But I have to read this one final anonymous quote from the piece. And again, this is about loyalty to Trump. McCarthy does nothing but lick Trump's boots. That's all he cares about. So no, it's not helpful. Again,
who are you?
Yes.
And which part of the boot are you licking, you idiot? There's not a single public House Republican opposing Trump. Not one. There was one named Justin Amash, and you guys ran him out of the party, even though he's one of the most conservative guys in the country. So Mr. Tough Guy House Republican, where are you? Raise your goddamn hand. All right. You're a weakling. You're a weakling. So please spare me. Look, do I want to defend Kevin McCarthy? Hell no. Kevin McCarthy's just as much of a coward as all of them. And he's their so-called leader. By the way, vote for Kim Mango and vote the Democrat in that race. It was a good candidate running against McCarthy. But the rest of them, I have zero sympathy for you. Until you actually gather up the courage to oppose Trump yourself, you don't get to give anonymous comments to the press about how McCarthy's not doing it enough. Want to win a free electric scooter? Well, our partners at Aspiration and Zoom Electric are making it possible. All you have to do is head to tyt.com/greensummer for your chance to win.